Hi, my name's Charles Delve. I'm an occupational therapist. I'm also a boxing coach. I'm a former England boxer as well and a British amateur champion. So basically I just wanted to put together a video that is going to tell active boxers how they can safely approach their training regime to help prevent brain trauma and the problems that are associated with a career in the sport of boxing. So of course now there's a lot of attention on the problems that can occur due to head injury and head trauma. I'm in a unique position being a healthcare professional and boxing coach. I've seen the effects. I work with a former professional boxer who lives with dementia. I work with a range of other neurological impairments, people with Parkinson's that were heavily into football, heading the heavier balls when they were younger, and I guess this has led on to a conflict for me in coaching competitive boxing to young people. So I've stepped back from that, but what I do want to do is try and encourage boxers, and those boxers in particular, to take these approaches to when they're training. So I'll talk about the three main points and then some other points as well, because there's lots of things you can do, but the number one is stay hydrated. It's a weight managed sport, so in a lot of cases boxers find having to dehydrate themselves or feel they have to dehydrate themselves. Of course, this is very dangerous. There's a thin layer of water between the brain and the skull. We do not want to dehydrate ourselves. You've got to stay hydrated. So if you've got a tough training session lined up, you can drink plenty of water, potentially have an isotonic drink as well, but most importantly, water. Just get lots of water, small sips before, during, and then after training. So that's the number one. Base of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, physiological needs, got to stay hydrated. Number two, you've got to limit open sparring. This goes to coaches as well. If you can't be getting boxers to be having heavy sparring every night of the week or even 2-3 times a week, you've got to focus on technique, enhancing technical capabilities. If you've got a deficit, if you've got a problem with something, say for example that left hand keeps getting dropped, so you keep getting caught with the right hand, you've got to work on that left hand defense. Perhaps that means, you know, working with your sparring partner. They're just throwing that right hand and you're slowing things down, just working on the block. You could just work on that layback, you could work on the slip to your left, you could work on the parry, you could work on the inside blocks as well. So there's a number of things that you can do to just break things up, enhance your ability to read your opponent, making you more adept when you're in the ring and having to do it for real. So obviously those two things really important. Limit open sparring. That's going to limit the amount of head trauma that you're going to be getting, number one, but it's also going to put you in a position to where you can acquire those skills. We can't, the brain finds it very difficult to adapt when you're overloaded with information. If you break things up and build it up slowly, then you're more likely to acquire those skills. So the skill acquisition is going to be able to be sped up if you slow things down. So that's really important. But of course, this leads on to the next point. You've got to work on defence just as much, if not more, than the offences. Okay, so you've got to spend time really working on the blocks. You know, potentially that winky right defence could be really spending time on, like I said, reading that opponent. So spend that time on the footwork. That's your foundation. Work on those laybacks, the side steps, the pivots. Okay, that's going to get you out of range. It's going to put you in a position to capitalise, making the opponent miss. Is going to put you in a better position to make them pay, to land your own punches. So all the best boxers are those ones that have the best defence. Look at Floyd Mayweather, look at Sugar Ray Leonard, look at Sugar Ray Robinson. They weren't there to be hit. There's Willie Pep. There's a lot of boxers out there that are well known, and they're well known because they got hit less. Okay, even Mike Tyson, a very underrated defensive boxer, he had that peekaboo defense, making the miss using that incredible head movement. So those are the three main points. The other things are, don't feel proud in the gym. It's a real culture, isn't it? And it's very difficult to say no. If you don't feel like you want to spar, that's up to you. No one can force you in there. If you're not feeling tip top, you might have had a bad stomach, you might have sprained your ankle, you might have shin splints from skipping or road work. Take your time. You know, there's only you in the ring, so that means it's you that needs to take control and understand your body the best. Okay, spar when you feel you're ready to. Okay, so really important. Drink more, limit open sparring, and master those defenses.